What happened on this night was something no one expected, and the moment it took place, the entire room felt the weight of years of pain, history, betrayal, and emotions that never fully healed. Because this night was supposed to be about peace, joy, and new beginnings. Yet it turned into a shocking scene when Martell arrived at Melody's private celebration with his new girlfriend by his side, even though he was not invited. And the scene left everyone in the room in disbelief, because the night had been planned for months, with warm lights, soft music, and a peaceful atmosphere that was created to honor Melody's strength after everything she had survived. But the moment Martell walked in, holding someone's hand, as if the past did not matter, and as if Melody's healing journey was something he could walk into and disturb without a second thought, the celebration changed instantly, and it forced everyone in the room to face the truth about how complicated and painful their story still was, because Melody and Martell had been through a long journey that broke down in front of cameras and behind closed doors. A marriage that once looked beautiful from the outside, but carried wounds on the inside that shattered Melody over time. And what made this moment so heavy was the fact that Melody had finally reached a place where she wanted to celebrate her growth, her peace, and her independence after years of heartbreak. But even on a night that was supposed to be hers, the past found a way to walk back into the room. And that past had a name, a face, and a bold entrance that cut through the night like a knife. Because Martell was not simply an ex-husband. He was the man who had been at the center of the chaos that changed Melody's life forever. And by showing up uninvited with another woman on his arm, he reminded everyone of the wounds that had taken her years to close. Wounds that were forced open again in front of friends, family, and people who had watched her struggle, fight, rebuild, and stand again. And when Melody saw him walk in, the look on her face was a mix of shock, disappointment, and strength. Because even though the moment hurt, she refused to break down or lose herself, showing once again why so many people admire her resilience. But what led to this moment did not begin tonight, because the story between Melody and Martell started years ago when they were seen as the perfect couple, young, driven, building a life and a family together, shaping their success in front of the world. But what the world did not know at first was that behind the smiles were cracks forming slowly, and those cracks grew wider as rumors began to spread about Martell's cheating. Rumors Melody tried to ignore because she wanted to protect her family and hold on to the image of stability they had built. Yet the truth eventually came out, and when it did, it broke her deeply, because the affair was not something small. It was long-term, and it destroyed her trust, her peace, and her belief that their marriage was grounded in loyalty, and everything she had sacrificed for was thrown into chaos when she realized her husband had been living a double life. And when people saw her trying to stay strong, they did not know how much pain she was carrying. Because even though she smiled in public, she cried behind closed doors, and the divorce that followed in 2020 was not just an end to a marriage. It was the end of a chapter that Melody once believed would last forever. And even after the divorce, the pain did not simply disappear, because they shared 4 children, and co-parenting forced them to continue communicating even when old feelings and new anger mixed together, in a way that kept both of them tied to a past filled with wounds. And Martell's behavior after the divorce did not make things easier, because one moment he spoke kindly of Melody, and another moment he made posts that took small jabs at her or stirred confusion. And the constant back and forth made it difficult for Melody to fully detach from the emotional mess he created. But she tried her best, pouring her energy into her work, her music, her business ventures, and her journey toward healing. And when she finally decided to host this celebration, it was more than just a party. It was a symbol of her new start, a moment to honor her growth and her peace, something she had fought so hard to protect. But when Martell entered the room with someone new, he shattered that peace in a matter of seconds. And even though he acted as if nothing was wrong, greeting people politely and walking around like his presence was normal, the room felt the tension immediately, because everyone knew he was not invited. And everyone understood that bringing his girlfriend was a move that cut deeply, especially given the history of pain connected to that part of his life. And some people believed he did it on purpose, to remind Melody that he could still shake her world, even though she had worked so hard to build a new one without him. And when Melody walked toward him, she did not yell or make a scene. She simply asked with calm strength why he was there and why he brought her. And her tone carried all the years of betrayal that she carried silently. But Martell responded with a dismissive answer, saying he was there for the children, which made the room gasp, because everyone knew this night was not about co-parenting. It was about Melody's peace, and his answer felt like a way to avoid taking responsibility for disturbing her moment. And Melody took a breath and reminded him that this was about respect, something he failed to show again by arriving uninvited and bringing someone who represented a painful chapter in her life. And while guests tried to get the room back to a lighter mood, the damage was already done, because the celebration that was filled with joy had been overshadowed by the tension that Martell brought with him. And within hours, the entire scene was all over social media, with people debating, taking sides, and asking why Martell would do something so bold on a night that was not about him. And most people agreed that this was not a simple misunderstanding, but a moment that showed how Martell still crossed boundaries that he should have respected long ago. And what made the story even more heartbreaking was when insiders confirmed that he was not invited at all, and that even the organizers were shocked to see him walk in. And Melody tried her best to hold the night together, smiling for her guests, thanking them for coming, and refusing to let the entire celebration fall apart. But everyone could see that her glow dimmed after the unexpected entrance. And later, when she posted a simple message about protecting your peace, it was clear that she was referring to what happened, and people flooded her comments with support, telling her she handled the moment with grace, while Martell faced backlash for what many saw as a disrespectful and unnecessary move that took attention away from Melody's night. And some people even suggested that bringing his new girlfriend was a way to humiliate Melody in public, a move that felt cruel and insensitive, considering the history they shared. But the deeper truth is that this moment was not just about drama. It was about the emotional scars that do not disappear even when a marriage ends. Because Melody fought so hard to rebuild her life, and to have that moment of celebration interrupted by someone who once broke her heart was like reopening a wound she spent years healing. And Martell's actions showed how easily the past can disrupt the present when boundaries are ignored. And what makes the situation more complex is that their lives will always be connected because of their children. And even when they try to move forward, there will always be moments that force them into the same space. And those moments can bring back old pain. And after this incident, people close to Melody said she is more determined than ever to set firm boundaries, because she is tired of being pulled back into emotional messes that she did not create. And she wants her future to be peaceful, focused on her happiness and her children, without letting Martell's choices overshadow her growth. And this night may have been a painful reminder, but it was also a powerful moment that showed how strong Melody has become, because she faced a situation that would have broken her years ago, Yet she stood firm, calm, and dignified, showing that healing does not mean the past disappears, but it means you learn how to stand even when the past tries to shake you. And as the night ended, even though the celebration was disturbed, Melody did not lose her power, and the world saw once again that she is no longer the woman who suffered in silence. She is a woman who protects her peace, stands her ground, and refuses to let anyone turn her life into chaos again. And even though Martell's entrance stole attention for a moment, it did not steal her strength, because she has grown into someone who knows what she deserves, someone who knows how to keep moving even when old wounds open, and someone who understands that peace is not something you wait for, it is something you guard. And this night, despite the shock and the pain, proved that Melody's journey is far from over, because she continues to rise above every test, every disruption, and every bold move that tries to pull her back. And no matter how many times the past tries to walk into the room, she has learned how to stand tall, protect her heart, and walk forward with grace.